to be 2-0 in the Sun Belt. That's the first thing. And we're really proud of where our guys finished in the fourth quarter. And you got to be able to win games like this in the fourth quarter. And obviously, it was a lot closer than we wanted. And we didn't play well at spurts throughout the game. But we hung in there. Our defense kept us in the game with the interceptions. An incredible job by Tay Hayes and Duck, our two corners, 3 and 3 apiece. And I think it was a school record 6 interceptions. Just an incredible job. And they kept us in the game because I think a couple quarters throughout the game, offensively, we didn't do anything. And they kept us in. And then offensively, we were able to get some things going at times. And we got a running game back today. I think Jalen, had a breakout game, which, we've been waiting on. And that's good to see. It seems like now we did all the running, we didn't do any passing. So, we got to get them all together at the same time. But I give credit to New Mexico State. And I think Doug and his staff have done a great job. That's a hard place to recruit to and really to play well. And I think he's done an exceptional job. He's got some good senior leadership on that team of guys he's recruited. They fight, they don't quit. And my hat's off to him and his staff. They got a good football team. The record doesn't indicate that. And they're going to give people fits, and they have throughout the whole season. And, but again, proud of our guys the way we finished. And, we just got to build off of it and learn from it and come back and get ready for Idaho.
As much as the offense struggled early, did you feel like you had to kind of open up the playbook there a little bit?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. We were coming into the game thinking we need to run the football because we want to keep their offense off the field. And what we were so bad at was third down. I mean, and that was really the big issue. We didn't get any first downs on third down, and we've been pretty good with that throughout the season. So. Whether it was us or their defense, we'll have to go back and look at the film on third down to see what happened. And, a few of them were long yardage situations, but that's hard to get. But I think that was the biggest thing. So we just kind of stuck with a game plan, really, quite honestly, and just to continue to run the football and grind out those yards. And it paid off for us because then in the fourth quarter we were able to break off a few good runs. The double pass, I just felt like in that scenario it was ready. We've worked on it all year, and it was in a good location as far as field position. It's just everything set up for it. And Malik, he can throw the football. That was a really good pass, and he's a great high school quarterback. He'll probably want to play some Wildcat now. Getting it back and put him back there to catch the snap. But great throw and catch and good execution. But we just stuck with the offense, and we ended up scoring 45 points, and which is a good day.
Scott, what did you see that they were doing coverage-wise? I mean, their pass defense had been okay,
I know
not great up until now. What were they doing that was giving you guys trouble?
Well, they were kind of mixing it up. They were playing some man, playing some zone. And a couple of times it really got them out of position. One of the Taylor's touchdown run, they were out of position because of the man coverage in that particular set. We took advantage of some of that coverage. So, and they were just covering our guys up. And I think early in the game, Taylor ran out of the pocket a couple of times where I think we had guys open. So, I think there was just a multitude of things that ended up happening on third downs primarily, and it really kind of hindered our passing game. And we'll go back and dissect it. But again, I give credit to them. I think their DBs played well, and they knocked down some balls that we usually come back and catch. And I'll give credit to those guys for coming out and playing like they did.
Aside from the last interception, every interception that you guys had today, you were able to go down the field and score. How important is that to be able to convert on those?
It's huge. It's huge to convert to turnovers, and what that is, a momentum switch. And so when we get that pick, and it kind of fires you up a little bit, and offensively you come back out, and then you start getting in a rhythm, then you go score, and you try to keep that momentum going. They did the same thing. I think when Hennigan had the ball and they ended up popping it out, they went and scored on theirs as well. So that's just a momentum grabber that you have to get and to go down and score. I was disappointed in our 2 turnovers that we had because both of those turnovers were down. I think they were inside the 25, both of them going in to score. Obviously that would have helped. And uncharacteristically, I think Thomas had the ball, was going to tuck it, and a great play by the DB knocked it out. And then I think they call it an interception, but really it's more of a fumble. But then you get pressure on Taylor. He steps up and throws the ball high, and they pick it. But again, that's credit to their defense. I mean, those guys played hard and played well tonight.
Scott, you talked about doing stuff last week that you thought would help get the running game going again. I mean, can you kind of be more specific about what you did today?
Well, I think number one, I was a little bit more persistent in calling the runs tonight. Even though we wasn't playing great at times, you just stay with it, stick with it. I thought I abandoned it a little bit throughout the season and not really stuck with it. I think what we did, we went back and studied the first 4 games of this year and the first 4 of last year. And some of our outside zones that we run a lot on, there was 40 of them, 40 less calls this year. That's the guy who's calling the plays. And so we went back. We just wanted to stick with it. And because sometimes those plays take a little bit of time, you got to let it marinate a little bit, and then let the running back get a feel for it, how they're blocking it. And I think that's what we did, and it paid off in the fourth quarter.
Scott, when you called the onside kick, obviously atypical time to do it, which is probably part of why you did it. But, take us through what made that the right time for you, and then I'd like to hear you comment on the officials' decision on that.
Yeah, we went down and we scored the previous possession, and we talked about doing it then. And I said, let's just kick it. Let's go ahead and kick it deep. And, if we score, if they can score and we score again, then we may do it. So, they ended up having a big, huge play. I think number 1 went for a long touchdown. We get the ball back, and we go down and score again. And I was like, we're running it. And I think for surprise, and I think because the ball game's tied. I think also because I felt like our defense was on the field for a long time, and we wanted, those guys are some fast guys, and so when you get a little bit tired, now you're a step late, and I think that's why number 1 went off for the long touchdown. So I think it was about 7.5 minutes maybe left on the clock when we called it, and I just thought it was a good time. We've been working on it. We got to get the kick a little bit further out and a little bit deeper, because that guy called a fair catch. And what they're saying is, you call a fair catch, you got to give him an opportunity to catch the ball. I thought Isaiah made a really good play. He came across, got the ball. I didn't see him call the fair catch, but apparently he did. But when you call a fair catch, you got to let him go. So that's why we got to kick it a little bit further back and over, and now Isaiah runs down the sideline.
And when he kicked it, so if it's a fair catch, when he kicked it, did it go in the air the whole time? Or
It
did.
did. No, it went in the air the whole time. Yeah, it went in the air the whole time. It just didn't get it far enough, So if they do get a fair catch and you go over their head and they can't get to it, now we can go catch it. That's the thought behind what we're doing right there.
But if he'd have kicked that ball off the ground and it bounces up, is it a live ball?
No, you get, if it bounces one time and pops up, you can still fair catch it.
Okay.
Yep. It's for safety reasons they came up with that rule for onside kicks. So really that's why you got to get the ball a little bit deeper.
With Hayes having such a career game, was there anything you had to shift once A.J. Howard was ejected early in the game? Do you think, anything that kind of factored in?
No, our corners have been playing really well all year. Really, both Tay and Duck. And, when we lost AJ's he's a captain. He's a senior. He's a big-time leader on our defense, and we lost him early in this football game. I give credit to Coach Sloan and the other safeties that had to come in and play, Des Franklin. And, those guys did a great job of coming in and really filling in. We didn't have as much depth there now, when AJ went out. But those guys did a really good job. And, those corners, for whatever reason, they wanted to pick on the outside, and those guys, they came in and made them pay.
All right, thanks, Coach.